welcome to Current Affairs on JTV. Today, joining me in the studio are two Israeli MKs. I have Yossi Yona from the Zionist Union and Miki Zohar from Likud, and we're going to be discussing the viability of the two-state solution. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me from your offices in the Knesset. Very good to have you with us. A pleasure. Let me start with a question for you, Yossi. You were a signatory to the Geneva Accords a decade ago, obviously laying out a whole path for peace on a two-state solution basis. Do you think that is still viable 10 years on?
Yes, I do believe that it is a viable solution. But before saying that it is a viable, I would like to say that it is a very much desirable solution, because what motivates me is to secure the character of my country as Jewish and democratic. So this is the motive, the first motive, the fundamental motive for me advocating the two-state solution. Now, as to your question about its viability, I do believe that it is viable, and I'm grounding my view concerning this issue on extensive research that people also associate with the Geneva Initiative and other people, showing that despite the fact that the settlement project has been developed and strengthened in the last, say, more than a decade since the Geneva Initiative came into being, yet the Jews, settlers in the West Bank, are actually mostly concentrated on a very restricted areas, and thereby not sabotaging and undermining the possibility of creating a Palestinian state in the West Bank, and hopefully also in some kind of arrangement with the Gaza Strip.
Okay, Miki, I'm going to come to you. I obviously asked Yossi about the viability of the solution, but he's also brought in the desirability. What are your thoughts on the desirability and the viability?
Okay, of course, I disagree with my friend to the Knesset, Mr. Yossi Yona. I think the possibility to make it happen, that we will build here another country, and for the Palestinians, is something that is not that we cannot do. I think if the Israeli country will decide to do that, it will be a big problem for our citizen security. I think that the Palestinian state won't work every day to prospect and to succeed. I think a Palestinian country will work every day how to change the situation here in Israel and how to make Israel not exist anymore. So I think the only solution is that we will live here together in peace, in one country that will be a Jewish and democratic country, and the security and everything will be in our hands only. I think that the Palestinians can live here and can feel here like home, because we don't want them to go from here. But they need to acknowledge that this country is a Jewish country, and they here a part of a Jewish country with their religions and with their ways that they need to live their life. This is the good democracy. We give everyone the freedom to do what he needs to do. We have Muslims here in Israel, we have Christians, we have Cherkessians, we have a lot of nations that live here in Israel with peace with us, with the Jewish, but I don't think that to build here another country is a good solution. I think it's a very, very bad solution.
Okay, Yossi, as you can see, your views are very far apart on this, but just to take one aspect of what Miki is saying, if he is suggesting, as I think he is, that a greater Israel could be Jewish and democratic, what's your objection to that solution?
Well, I would like to reply or to comment on what my good friend Miki Zohar, that I want to say in the parenthesis, that we have a wonderful cooperation on issues that don't have to do with this political issue having to do with the desirable solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Now, I would like to say the following. First, what I'm suggesting, and what is now the common wisdom among people who want to push forward peace negotiations with our neighbors, the Palestinians, is that it ought to be arranged within some kind of a regional initiative, so that the incentive to sabotage it or to undermine the solution or the arrangement that we're going to reach would decrease dramatically. So that I would like to see moderate Arab countries around us, Egypt, Jordan, and other countries, joining in together and having agreement with us, meaning that the peace that I'm yearning for would be not only with the Palestinians, but with the neighboring Arab countries. And this is actually has been stated, for instance, in the Arab League initiative, that says that the moment that we're signing a peace treaty with the Palestinians, it is to a large extent guaranteed by Arab countries. Of course, we are not relying on them exclusively. I'm relying on our military capacity. But I think that the fact that we would have it within a regional agreement, the chances that it would be viable, that it will actually be sustainable, the chances increase them dramatically.
But why is Miki's solution, but Yossi, why is Miki's solution not going to be accepted by neighbors? He's saying it'll be democratic, it'll be
now
Jewish.
As to what Miki, Miki's solution is the future relationship between Arabs and Jews, or Palestinians and Israelis within the same state, I don't see any viable way to maintain the democratic character of my country, my beloved Jewish country. I don't see how we can maintain its Jewish character and democratic character while encompassing with this state 4 million Palestinians. Any attempt to secure or to hold or to maintain our country as a Jewish state on such conditions encompassing all Palestinians would lead us inevitably, I believe, to either binationalism or to an apartheid state. And I'm sure that my friend Miki, as much as we don't want to see this happen. This is why I'm very skeptic about the scenario that my good friend Miki is presenting here for us.
Well, Miki, isn't this the key point? What Yossi is saying is correct. You stated, let's bring everyone into one country. But the truth is that will be a divided country, would it not? You would have either a 40%, 60% split, or a 45-55 split, or even down the line a 50-50 split, wouldn't you? How can you possibly have a state which is one thing and not another when almost half the population is the other?
Okay, my solution that I am offering is to build municipalities, different municipalities to each city. If you want to be a part of a Palestinian municipality, it will be your decision, and we accept and respect it. And if you will be a part of a Palestinian municipality, you will have your own independent. You not need to be obligated to the rules in Israel, and you cannot vote for the parliament in Israel. But if you want to be a municipality that is a part of the Israeli organization and a part of the Israeli country, you need to do three small things. One thing, you need to give your country, to contribute to your country, to be involved in your country, like everybody here in Israel goes to the army or go to help in the national security. So each citizen, even if you are Palestine, you need to give a little bit time for your country. You need to acknowledge our flag, and you need to acknowledge that this is a Jewish and democratic country with a Jewish majority. If if there will be Palestinian citizens that will acknowledge all these three things that I told right now, we will more than happy to accept them as a full citizenship with equal terms like everyone. But if not, they will be obligated and they will be able to live by themselves. We will help them financially to live and prosper and succeed, but we don't need to give them a country. because a country is a different situation. A different country here in Israel is a thing that can jeopardize our citizens. It can jeopardize our security, because I'm sure, and it has been proven in the past, that every time that we give the Palestinians a piece of land that they are control it alone, it became a terror, a place for terror. You can look at Gaza. We remove our soldiers and we remove our citizens from Gaza against Israel. They don't acknowledge the Jewish idea here in Israel. They want to vanish us. So I cannot trust them right now, but I want to live with them and I want to let them prosper, but in our terms, not in their terms. This is what I'm thinking, and I hope that, and I think that most of the country here in Israel, and you can see by their voting to the Knesset, think like me. There is a big group in Israel that maybe 40% of Israeli citizens that think otherwise. But I think the majority in Israel understand that to build here a Palestinian country is very, very dangerous and could jeopardize our security here in Israel.
Yossi, do you think that's true? Are most Israelis?
No, I mean, all the public polls that we are running now consistently and continuously over the years, and I'm talking about, if you wish, at least 2 decades, indicate that the majority of the Israeli Jews, and I'm not talking on, the Palestinian, Israeli Palestinians, which obviously the support idea of two-state solution, but I'm talking about the overwhelming majority of Israeli Jews opting or advocating the idea of two-state solution. So I don't know, Miki, my friend, why you're saying so.
See, I want to tell you one thing. I don't think you must believe to this.
Okay, so
this, because if you want to look at this details right now, why in the last campaign, in the last election, everybody thinks that Benjamin Netanyahu won't be the prime minister because different from the post.
My friend, because my prime minister, which is your party's leader,
yes,
but he's my prime minister, have announced repeatedly that he is committed to the two-state solution. So the issue on the elections, the general election, the last general election was not whether we're opting or not opting for two-state solution, because it seems that it is now common wisdom, including the Prime Minister of Israel, believing or holding on or committed to the idea of two-state solution.
I just want to say one thing about what you say about the Prime Minister.
No, I would like to hear you. Do you think that he changed his mind?
No, I think that
I would very like to hear that.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't like to hear that the result that if he is no longer committed to it. But I would like to know whether the Prime Minister has changed his mind.
I think that the Prime Minister said that he is committed to the two-state idea because this is what the government before him did. They signed the Oslo agreements, and these Oslo agreements, the country was obligated and signed that she will build another country here. But he didn't sign this contract. I think that he don't think that this contract, this agreement is.
Would you say openly that no longer the Prime Minister of Israel is committed
I cannot talk on the Prime Minister's behalf, because the Prime Minister can talk by himself and he knows to say what he thinks. But I think that this is a wrong decision.
Okay.
It will be a wrong decision. And I think that the Prime Minister realized as the time moves on that this is a wrong decision to build here in another country.
So Miki, just on that, on that note, hold on, Yossi, on that note, Miki, do you think?
My friend said about his desirable solution. It seems that Miki, what actually you are saying implicitly, if not explicitly, saying that those Palestinians who want to live by, as you said it, you put it very clearly, I must say, that those Palestinians who want to live on our terms, they're welcome to stay here. But those people, or those Palestinians who still, so to speak, are committed to the aspirations of having a state of their own, they are, how to put it, invited to leave, or you're offering them the only option that you're telling them some opposition.
No, I think they should stay here and should live by themselves with their own independence, in their own autonomy, like there is right now. Palestinian Authority.
National independent?
A municipally independent. Each city will be able to decide if they want to be a part of the municipalities in Israel or to be separate from us, and they could live by themselves, by their own rules. And like right now, the situation is with the Palestinian Authority. It will be the same situation, almost like we have right now, but we will live here in peace.
I know that you can't speak for the Prime Minister, and you've made that clear, but you obviously have your ear to the ground in your own party, Likud. Do you think that most of your party's MKs and its members share your view?
Definitely yes. Most of the members in the Likud don't believe in another country here in Israel.
Two-state solution.
Palestine. And they don't believe in two-state solution. So for sure, I think that I can say that most of the members in my party don't believe in this.
So, Miki, you've said Likud supports your position. In that case, how on earth can the Prime Minister be serious about pursuing a two-state solution if his own party is against it?
Yeah, the Prime Minister can convince us different sometimes. I think in this issue it will be much harder, and if you ask me, I think it won't be available to happen. I think the two-state solution is something that cannot come through in the Likud party, also in the coalition as it is right now, and I'm happy that this is the situation. The Prime Minister said that he is obligated to the idea. He never said that he believes in this idea, and I think this is a big difference.
Oh, this is a very interesting philosophical difference between believing and believing in an idea and committed to an idea. So are you suggesting that someone might believe in an idea but not committed to the idea? I find it very interesting. But then, you know, it seems that there is a big discrepancy then between the members of the Likud about the views that they're committed to and the views that our Prime Minister committed to. And I was suggesting before,
yes,
it is indeed a news, Miki, that you hear announcing that the Prime Minister, Netanyahu, actually, maybe, I wonder whether you agree to what I'm going to say, that he probably was forced to say that he believes in this.
This is what I think, yeah. This is what I think. I think that
so
he's not also agreements and he's obligated because the country is agreements, but I don't think that.
So when he's saying, what do you mean? Which means that when he's saying two-state solution, he is not sincere, right? He's insincere.
I agree with a lot of things that are obligated to, but you don't believe in. But as soon that you obligate to this, maybe you want to go for it because you feel obligated to your obligation. So I cannot say
I think we've got to the position. We understand the position.
Obligated to the idea, but you don't believe in this idea.
Exactly. I think both of you are agreeing, guys. Both of you are agreeing on the same thing. You both agree.
Believe in two-state solution, but you know, but then the public that follow him, not, as you mentioned before, voting for the Likud party. I mean, here's the Prime Minister that not aware of the distinction between believing in commitment and being committed. And what they hear is that the Prime Minister is committed to two-state solution. So it might be that he's misleading them. Don't you think
Yossi, I think...
So I must say this. I go around the country and I meet a lot of Likud members and a lot of Likud voters. And if you ask me, the big majority of the Likud voters don't believe in a two-state solution, period.
Okay. Yossi, your side keeps losing elections. So to a certain extent, the Likud members are going to be driving the conversation on this.
Well, look, I mean, the Likud party and its coalition partners have been elected legitimately by the Israeli public, and they have the mandate to run first. I'm not, of course, disputing that. We are a democratic country, and as even I said in the very beginning, Prime Minister Netanyahu is also my Prime Minister. No question about that. He has the mandate to lead, to manage foreign affairs the way that he sees fit, according to the mandate that he received from the public that voted him. But within the democratic rules, I'm convinced the Israeli public that giving up on the idea of two-state solution would be very dangerous to the future of my country. And I would say from a point of view, from a Zionist point of view, from a national point of view, that would be disastrous in the long run.
Okay.
Wanting to keep my country as Jewish and democratic, I think that we have to try to do our best to thrive for a two-state solution.
Understood. Right. Yossi, Miki, we're out of time, I'm afraid. Thank you very much for joining us today. And thank you for seeing us on Current Affairs at JTV at home. We look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.